G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping straight into Go Battle League, and we're in the Ultra League, and we're going to jump into Premier Cup. So going to slightly mix the team up and go with Gallade on the lead with Lapras and Muk in the back. So obviously just changing up my lead, running into a lot of Machamps recently, and Gallade's going to absolutely go to town on them, so hopefully we can run into a couple more. So let's jump into the first one and see how we go. So Ampharos on the lead, not ideal, so expecting to, so this is obviously just going to be the Thunder Punch, because it takes 3 to get to a Thunder Punch. Then it does take 2 more to get to the next Thunder Punch. So I wanted to try and sneak in an extra Leaf Blade there so we could CMP tie. Unfortunately, it was not able to do so. So they're going to throw that throw into my Leaf Blade now. Thankfully, they didn't get an extra Volt Switch through either, and they've double shielded up the Ampharos, so that's really interesting. I'm going to have to bring the Muk out to this, because obviously it's going to be doing effective press. So going to bring the Muk out, tank that charge move. Unfortunately, they're able to get to another one. Absolutely outrageous. It's such a spammy Pokemon. So able to charge that down, have some energy stored, and then out comes the Venusaur. So going to Gunk Shot this. I'm going to do a fair chunk of damage, as you can see. So there's 3/4 of the health gone. I'm actually going to let this go and then come in and farm down with the Lapras. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to farm down before they got to another charge move, so we'll shield up that charge move. And then out comes the Gengar. So I've got energy charged, happy days. Going to look to Ice Beam the Gengar and then charge down. It gets the Shadow Ball, but I'm able to tank one Shadow Ball. Have very close to the Surf, but don't need it. Able to fast move, farm down that Venusaur. It had thrown all its energy before it swapped out, so all was good. So pretty happy with that one. Pretty straightforward match in the end. Being able to get that little bit of extra energy would have been absolutely perfect to be able to farm down, well, the Venusaur before it got to the move, but not able to do so. So Swampert on the lead. So again, this is much better to be running into this with a Gallade, except for they've swapped into their Alolan Muk. So I'm going to store that energy on the Gallade and then swap into and just mirror the Alolan Muk. So out comes the Sludge Wave, and that's absolutely fine. What I have to do is check what is the better play here. So I thought Dark Pulses were the better way to go, but I could be wrong there. So if someone wants to correct me, please let me know what's the better option when you're mirroring. Do you throw the poison or do you throw the dark move? So I know you get to the dark move so much faster, so that's sometimes the way to go. So assuming they don't shield, it's happy days, and I'm able to take that down pretty easily and get to another Dark Pulse. So that's going to be doing a lot of damage there, and then they're able to farm me down, unfortunately. So now what do I come in with? I'm going to come in with the Lapras. I'm going to tank this first one. It's going to be an Earthquake. It's always an Earthquake. And then they're going to swap out into the Magnezone. So this is really bad. Expecting this to be a mirror shot, which it is, but I do have to shield, and then they get to a second mirror shot before I'm able to get to a charge move. So I'm going to throw the Close Combat here. Let's see, we're going to get the shield. I'm going to grab another shield here, because there's no reason not to shield this up, and then it's going to charge me down and wild charge my Lapras. So this is GG. Surf is not going to do enough damage. It's just unfortunate that I had to use my second shield. If I stored that shield and threw that energy, may have been a closer game. So unfortunately, that's a good game right there. And the game actually froze. I don't know if anybody's having this issue. So after you win a match, the game crashing. So I just exited out there and jumped straight back in. and we'll jump into the next match. So this one, Gyarados on the lead. So it is a flying type, but it's also a water. So Leaf Blade is really good. And they're going to be throwing an Aqua Tail this early. So I did shield that up, over farmed a fair bit to get this Leaf Blade. I expect to get the shield, and then I am able to throw one more Confusion and get to the second Leaf Blade, and they've double shielded, so that's interesting. So the question is here, do I match that? Yes. So I'm going to match the double shield here. We'll see if they want to swap out. They've not swapped out, so I've thrown the next Leaf Blade, and I'm just going to take shield advantage here. And out comes that. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. So interesting choice. Unfortunately, again, they've just beaten me to the move. So I think we CMP tied, and we did. So they've thrown Psychic. So interesting that it's running with the Psychic move. Thrown the Surf and able to absolutely one-shot it. Out comes the Obstagoon, and I'm going to be able to gunk shot that and go for a win here. So they're going to be able to cross chop me, and cross chop is going to add up and do a lot of damage. Gunk shot here is also going to be doing, as you can see, about 3/4 of its damage, but they are going to get to potentially another one cross chop over this, so it should be fairly straightforward. So no, didn't get to another cross chop, able to throw the Dark Pulse, and that's going to be enough to take it out. So that's a good game right there. So a bit of an interesting team, that one, and I'm sure hopefully it's working out pretty well. I like to see a little bit of spice in amongst some of this boring stuff. So Charizard on the lead, awful lead for me. I'm going to switch straight into the Alolan Muk, hoping that they will switch out and then I can match up my match up the Lapras against it. They are not switching out, so I'm going to overcharge here, and I've found that Charizards always are going to shield, and this one is no exception. So I'll throw back-to-back Dark Pulses. Probably will not get a shield for this second one, and then we'll look to farm down. They will get to another charge move. I will shield this up, and then farm down. So what that will mean is I will be able to throw a charge move on whatever comes out next, and I will have a lot of energy. So for this one, I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse, expecting a shield to come out, and I did get it, so that's really good. Shields are down. I did have a Dark Pulse, but obviously, unfortunately, they got to their charge move took me out before I could get to the gunk shot. So Power Whip is going to do a lot of damage, but so is the Ice Beam. So let's throw that Ice Beam, and it absolutely one-shots it. Out comes the Shadow Executor. So very interesting. I'm going to throw the Close Combat just because yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm not going to be able to get to another charge move. I'm not going to be able to survive a charge move whether I'm debuffed or not, so no problem with debuffing me myself further. So was able to take that match with fast move farm down on the Lapras when it came back in, so really good right there. So jumping into the next one, and let's see what we get. We get an error finding the match, so we'll exit out and jump back in again, give that another try. So what have we got? Gallade into Lapras. So this is not a bad matchup. So Leaf Blades will be hitting for super effective damage, and so will the Close Combat. So I'm going to throw Leaf Blades just because if I get the shield, like I did, it won't be debuffing me, so I will be able to survive a little bit longer. Out comes the Scizor. I tried to swap out really quickly, but it didn't register, so I had to swap out again. It actually worked out in my favour because it meant that I then got to catch a Night Slash on my Alolan Muk. I'm going to over farm here and then look to throw double double Dark Pulse. So I did get the last shield and then throw straight into the next one. So Sizzle is awfully glassy, and that is enough to KO. So that's really good. And then out comes the Ampharos, and then they swap into their Lapras. So what I probably should have done there is stored that energy and swapped straight into my own Lapras, but I'm in a pretty good place now. So obviously their Lapras is locked in, and I'm just going to store all of this energy, save my shield because I obviously don't want to be one-shot by Ampharos, and then throw energy when that switches back in. They realise that, so they left the game. So that was GG's right there, and able to go 4-1 in that set, which is really, really nice, and got rewarded a Mudkip. So we'll move right on, and jumping into the next set and see how we go. So again, Lapras into Crustle. So interesting lead here. It is running the rock type fast move, so not going to be very effective. If it was running its bug fast move, then it would have been super effective. So what I'm going to do here is they've swapped into match with their Gallade, and I'm going to swap in my Muk to counter that. So it's going to be doing neutral damage because of the psychic typing and fighting typing. They sort of balance each other out with those dark moves, and then I'm able to, unfortunately, I'm able to grab a shield but need to use one of my own. So we are now down, we're up on shields, and we're looking okay. So Crustle comes out, so I'm not knowing what to expect. I'm expecting an X-Scissor, maybe? Yeah, so it is X-Scissor. And then out comes the Venusaur, and the reason I switched to this, and I tried to switch quickly, is because if I get to a Ice Beam, so at this point I should have just thrown a Surf because that would have been taking it out, but I did get a little bit worried there, so then I probably could have thrown back-to-back Surfs. Crustle comes back out, and I'm going to throw the Leaf Blade, able to do a little bit of damage. It gets to a charge move. It's going to be a super effective an X-Scissor there, and doesn't take me out, so able to get to my charge move and take it out with very minimal HP. So lucky to get away with that one. So really big misplay by me was to throw the Ice Beam on the Venusaur. Should have just thrown a Surf as soon as I got there, because the fast move damage was just devastating, and that was the Surf would have been enough to take out of that range. So mirror match here, so mirror shiny, so always good times. Going to throw into the Leaf Blade here, and grab a shield, able to grab that shield, and then unfortunately I'm not able to win that one, so they've thrown there. I get to my next Leaf Blade, and let's see if they want to double shield this Gallade. They've double shielded too. I will do the same. I was able to sneak through an extra fast move in between my charge and theirs, and then out comes the Gramble. So not ideal for me, but shields are down, so I'm going to bring out the Alolan Muk here, and throw the Gunk Shot. So I am a bit worried about them switching. They don't switch, so straight into that Gunk Shot. I'm going to take that trash can to the face, and that absolutely one-shots it. So thought about swapping, going to do a little bit of chip damage here, get the Dark Pulse off, and by a little bit of chip damage does half its health, and then able to switch into the Lapras. Drill runs are not going to be doing huge amounts of damage. As you can see, they do about 1/3. Able to get to this Surf. Surf's going to be neutral and enough to KO the Escavalier, so really good there, and good game. As you can see, shields down. Yeah, the Gunk Shot just absolutely one-shots the Gramble, which was absolutely outstanding. So we're going to be running with, again, obviously the same team. So going to be seeing how the Gallade matches up. So far I've Don't think I've seen a Machamp, which is the whole reason I switched to this team. Couple of Charizards on the lead, which is really not great for me. I'm going to throw straight into the Gunk Shot here. Unfortunately, they're going to shield this. They always shield up the first one, and I will in future just save up. So you want to charge up to the Gunk Shot, but throw the Dark Pulse. I will shield up as well because I do not want to be Blast Burned. Unfortunately, they get to a Blast Burn just before I'm able to get to my Dark Pulse, so overfarmed just one too many, but they do still shield up. So let's see if I get there first, and I'm able to get there first. So this is going to be absolutely enough to KO the Charizard, and then out comes the Tangle Growth, and again being a little bit greedy there, going for the Gunk Shot, and I had the energy to throw my the Dark Pulse, and that could have made a difference here. So able to get to the Ice Beam, shields are down. This is going to take out the Tangle Growth. So that's Tangle Growth down, and then out comes their own Gallade here. So that's really interesting. So there I probably should have thrown the Close Combat, but Leaf Blade is going to do enough damage. They didn't quite do enough to take me out, and then I was able to fast move farm them down. So I don't know if they undercharged that Leaf Blade, but one fast move from the Lapras was going to be enough anyway to take it out. They didn't have enough energy to throw back-to-back charge moves, so happy days. So Tangle Growth on the lead for this one is not ideal for me, so I'll switch straight into the Muck, and let's see what they switch into. So they're going to switch into their own Gallade here, which is a really interesting call. So let's see what they want to do here. So able to get to back-to-back Dark Pulses because they're a little slow on the switch, and then thinking about, do I let this go, hoping it is a buy, and so really unfortunate there. They're able to land the Close Combat, so I'm going to have to throw this energy. I was really hoping for a Leaf Blade bait, but wasn't to be. So able to win switch and go up a shield there, so really good for me there. And then I've switched into my Gallade, Power Whip comes through, and then they swap into Togekiss. So that's actually really, really good for me because I'm able to match up my Lapras to this Togekiss and go to town. So we'll be able to throw the Surf, do a lot of extra damage, and then we've got the Tangle Growth in the back. So going to shield this up, and it is the Rock Slide, so that would be enough to take me out here. Going to be able to throw the Ice Beam. If they decide to no shield, then it's going to take them out, and then I will swap straight into the Gallade and throw the Close Combat here, and that's going to be enough to KO. So a bit of a combo play there, but obviously I didn't want to bait with the Surf, have them no shield that and still have the shield for the Close Combat, so go for the two big hitters there. And if they want to no shield the first one, that's GG's. If they shield the first one, then swap in and end it with the Close Combat there. So Poliwrath on the lead, so pretty good matchup for me there. Swap into the Clefable. Again, just going to go straight for Gunk Shot, hoping that they don't shield. Unfortunately, they shield again. So difficult one. Going to shield this up. It is a Meteor Mash, so it hasn't got stabs, so not going to do huge amounts of damage, but still worth a shield. Let's see if I get a second shield or I'm able to take it out. So they've double shielded the Clefable, which is really, really interesting. And then I'll bring out the Lapras. It's going to be able to tank this Meteor Mash. It's going to be neutral because of the ice and water typing, but I want to over farm a little bit and don't want to get too greedy because those charms do just chunk away. So not able to quite get there in time, and then going to swap into the what do I do here? So swap into the Gallade, throw the close combat there. It's going to drop my defense, but I am able to farm up a little bit more and then able to get to this Leaf Blade to throw. So Leaf Blade's going to be doing a lot of damage, and they're going to be wanting to throw their energy as quickly as possible, which means I can then come out with my Lapras and get to the double. Oh, but they've beaten me to it. So I wanted to get to the double surf, used Ice Punch, and I'm alive with 1 HP, and I've got double surf. So can I end it? So that's going to put me very, very close. They didn't get a fast move through in between my surfs, and I'm able to win it with 1 HP and an absolute dream. So that's an absolutely outstanding match. Really, really happy with that one, and that let me go 5-0. I'm fairly sure in that last set. So that last game, absolutely outstanding. Held off to throw my double charge moves, and thought I was gone with that Ice Beam, but because it's obviously resisted and Lapras is an absolute beast, I was able to survive with a 1 or 2 HP and then throw those double surfs, and they didn't get a fast move in between because that may have been enough to KO me there. So got the Trico. I've got a video on excellent throws. I'll link that now. Otherwise, hopefully that was useful for someone. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.